Yo, or g'day. I said that, sorry. I'm back, and I've got an RDA, a dual coil RDA. It's been a good old long time since I've done an RDA, I believe. So I was looking forward to doing this. This is the Thundercloud and Vaping Bogan Bonza Pro RDA. This is the stainless steel, comes with a white drip tip. That there is a reducer for if you wanted to run it in single coil. And pre-installed with the RDA is another reducer that's a bit bigger, which is intended to be used in dual coil configuration. Get a little stand with the RDA, which is cool, and a little beauty ring on the bottom. There's the Bonza branding. That honeycomb dotted airflow that you recognize from Bonzas and many, many other RDAs. You get a pair of coils, the specs was on there, wasn't paying attention, go back and have a look if you need. And you get a single coil. Baggie of tools and extras. Extra screws, grub nuts, whatever they're called. Some cotton. Not often you see some cotton included in these things. And a little coil measuring tool. There is also some, it's not instructions or anything like that, it's just the parameters, some details rather than instructions. And it's just reprinted in multiple languages there. I did decide that I'm going to use the included coils with this build. I don't know if there was any reason behind that, just thought I did, so. Got a stand. The stand doesn't really make it too easy to hold on to, or for holding onto to take it off. Here's an atomizer stand that I've had for a while that I got from Bearded Viking. Why did I forget his name? Bearded Viking Brent. Big up you, Brent. There it is. Love the thing. Does me well. So the little Atty stand that comes with it obviously is threaded, so you have to unscrew it, and it's a deep threading as well, so kind of annoyed me. Get a beauty ring with it. Can't remember the millimeters. I should probably do my job better, but if you go back at the start, it'll give you the information. I want to say it's like 24 millimeter. Maybe I'll add something in post-edit, but there you go. That's the deck. You get little notches to ensure the airflow is nicely lined up all the time. There they are. And that's the pre-installed reducer, which is for the dual coil configuration. Say that fast 3 times. So that just ensures the airflow is always lined up inside. And there's the difference between the dual coil and single coil. Airflow is exactly the same on both of them. It's just the space inside, really. So a closer look under, I say under the chamber, sort of in the chamber, in the top cap. Nothing exciting going on there, really. First time I've seen a reducer that's fitted like that, like press fitted. If that's what you would call press fitted, because it's easily removable, but normally the reducers sit on top of the deck and then you put the top cap on top of that. So something different, I suppose. I hate to sound unimpressed, but I am a little bit, but I'll probably get into that a little bit more later on. You have to make sure you get the reducer back in the right way, because there is, as you saw there, that sort of slider on the top to ensure that the airflow doesn't forever spin. Should allow you to get the, or make it easier to get the device off on mod. And that's just the airflow changing there. So there's something that does annoy me about this. It's not doesn't annoy me, but it's just not optimal. When you're closing off the airflow, so if you wanted a more reduced airflow, as I'm pointing out now, the airflow doesn't remain centered on the coil, I believe. So as you close it off, the airflow's hitting the left side of the coil more than the center, which I don't really like. I like to be as optimal as possible. So if I'm closing my airflow, I'd like my reduced airflow to be hitting the center of the coil where the coil is going to be hottest, but hey, it is what it is, right? So I've got an OG coiler tool there. And we're going with those, so 2 core Clapton coils, and I wasn't paying attention there, sorry, the specs were on the screen. I really need to upgrade my tools, don't I? Look, I've had these for over a decade now. They've done me well. Unlike the autofocus on my new phone, sorry. So just undo the posts. Obviously the legs are too long. I'm just putting them in there just to have a look and gauge how long I might want the legs to be in the end. But it's not a deck that I'm surprised about. I am surprised that it's got the Bonza name on it. That's the only thing that surprises me about it. I'm pretty sure I've seen like 4 or 5 RDAs with the exact same or very, very similar deck in. The original Bonza RDA was pretty unique. It had the clamps that you had to sort of tighten the screws on the top of the posts, which would then close clamps where the coils obviously would be sat in between. That was very unique, and the Bonza 1.5 was just an improvement on the original with better made materials. So I was looking forward to trying this Bonza Pro, expecting it to be something, the deck to be something along those lines. I hate to say it, I do, but it could be any RDA from any manufacturer with any name on. I don't understand how this is part of the whole Bonza, what makes this a Bonza other than the name on the box. But maybe I just want things to go back to what they were in the old days, and you can't always have what you want. So here's me pointing out that I've gone with 6.5mm leg length because I want mine to be ever so slightly longer, as I'd much prefer the airflow to come in on the underside of the coil just a little bit. But you could do 6mm easily. I don't know if that's what's recommended. I haven't been told that. I don't know if that's the official leg length for this RDA, but that's what I went for. And to be fair, it worked out quite nicely for me. So I'm just tightening the legs back into place now. I used to talk through every step of what I was doing when doing these kinds of videos, but I think by now you sort of get the gist of it. If you don't know what I'm doing, let me know. Maybe leave a comment, and I'll perhaps explain a bit more in future build videos. But I think by now everyone that's watching sort of understands a bit about what I'm doing. So these are supposed to be 3mm inner diameter coils. That is a 3mm outer diameter rod. So that rod should have fitted in there nice and snug, but it didn't. I've had to use a 2.5mm rod, and now this is the 3mm section of that screwdriver to sort of reposition them and get them nice and straight and symmetrical. So they could easily be 3mm inner diameter, but like exactly 3mm. Whereas usually, with most coils I've used before, they say 3mm, and I wouldn't be surprised to find that they're 3.2 or 3.3 or something along those lines, really. Maybe I just think about this too much, it's just a coil. To just check to see what the coils looks like. with the top cap on. I don't want those coils to sit too high, obviously, because they might short out the atomizer. And I decided that they were at a nice height. So now I'm going to try them on a mod, and I've gone with the Vaporesso Taro for no other reason other than it was the first mod that I could find when looking for one. It does look good on there, as in the colours match and everything, but obviously there's a touch of overhang. I don't know if that bothers you. It does bother me, so it's not. I would not usually combo this mod and this atomizer together, even though the colours match. I just don't like that overhang. Having some issues. So the resistance isn't reading correctly or at all. Turn the device off, taking the atomizer off, turn the device off. Struggle to turn the device back on. Just being impatient, really. I need to leave it for the screen to turn off and then try 5 clicks, but Mr. Impatient here is just smashing buttons. And then he wins eventually. Atomizer goes back on, but we're getting the old check atomizer. So, new circle, whatever that might be. So, on the label of the coils, it said 0.4. I don't know if that's dual or per coil, as I'm checking now. Now, I would imagine that is 0.4 ohms per coil, because they're quite juicy. So 2 together will be 0.2 ohms, because it obviously halves it. But as you're about to see, the resistance jumps all over the place, and I can't be sure, so it started reading 0.17 at first, which is close enough to 0.2 for me to go, okay, yeah, that might be right. But as I'm dry burning or priming, not priming, but dry burning the coils, trying to get all the hot spots and such out, I'm noticing the mod's just not enjoying this atomizer at all. Resistance is jumping all over the place. It keeps picking it up like I've just screwed the atomizer onto the device. So I've taken the batteries out, put them back in, put the atomizer back on. It's reading 0.17 as it was before it started getting a bit funny. And I thought we was away. So I'm using some ceramic tipped tweezers. If you don't have any and you want to start doing what I'm doing here and building your own atomizers and such, you don't have to, but it's always safe to just use ceramic tip tweezers. If you don't have ceramic tip tweezers, please only ever touch the coils whilst you're not firing the atomizer. I'm firing up nice and even, but the resistance is still being a bit of a bugger, not gonna lie. Don't know if it's the coils, don't know if it's the atomizer, but it's 0.21, which is still within the range I would find acceptable. If the coils were supposed to be 0.2 ohms, if both of them together were supposed to come out at 0.2 ohms, then 0.21 is not a problem for me at all. So we're going to wick them up now because I thought everything was okay, but as you'll soon see, it's not. Going with cotton gods because I've still got some left, and I'm very, very sad that I can't get hold of this stuff anymore. So I've gone back to stocking cotton bacon V2 in the shop, but I am on the hunt for something I prefer more than cotton bacon, as I prefer cotton gods more to cotton bacon. So going back to cotton bacon, which I did enjoy before, feels like a downgrade now. I feel like I need to find something else that I enjoy at least as good as cotton gods, if not better. So any recommendations, leave a comment below and I'll try them out. That's twice now in one video I've asked for a comment below. turning into a real YouTuber. So it looks like it's too much cotton to me. I don't like how much it's struggling to get through and how much it's moving the coil as I'm trying to thread it through, so taking a little bit off. Still not happy. I think I take a little bit more off. Fluff it back out that little bit. Starting to make a bit of a meal of this, but hey, we get there in the end-ish. Believe me, spoilers. Probably start to get frustrated now. No, we got there in the end, wait. By the way, I'm recording this voiceover bit now, but after using the device it's been about 2.5 days when I was using it, and it's just not my style of vaping anymore, a dripper. It just isn't. I don't mind rebuildables, but I'm more of a all-in-one borrow type of guy, or mouth-to-lung RTA at the most. Now I'm getting frustrated, as you can see, trying to thread that through, but we got there. I think this didn't even get there, if I'm honest. I think it turns out, it's just not enough cotton, so start again. But yeah, I just don't use dual coil drippers other than on a stacked mech, which I only use in the shop. And the dripper I use on that goes with the device. It looks nice together, so I don't really consider trying other drippers on top of it, but even if I really enjoyed this, it'd find its way packed away and back in storage very quickly, regardless of how good I found the atomizer, because I just don't use these kinds of devices anymore. But it's a new dripper, and it's been a while since I've seen a new dripper. And with Bogan being attached to it, I thought, gotta give it a go. So got some in, and some are available at the shop as well. Just combing out cotton there, just trying to ensure that I only comb in one direction away from the coil. I'd like to keep as many fibers intact as possible. Something that I like to do, I don't see too many other people doing, is I like to sort of tip the scissors outwards. So the top side of the cotton tails is ever so slightly longer than the underside. As when you tuck it down like that, when you think about it, the top side of the cotton has ever so slightly longer to travel, being on the outside, than the underside of the cotton, which is going to get to the deck just that little bit quicker. I like the tails of the cotton to be just long enough, just so that the ends of the fibers of cotton is just about touching the deck. And to be honest with you, I think I forgot that I was recording this for the purpose of making a video. I think I just started enjoying watching the cotton soak up the juice. But here you see the resistance is all over the shop now. I don't even have the top cap on. The only thing I've done is added the cotton, juiced it up, so it's not shorting out or anything like that. So I don't know what the problem was. So I've gone over to another device. I dug out my old, well, not my old, it's one that I've never used before. It's a Smock X Cube 2, I want to say. Was it the X Cube 2? I don't know. But Smock X Cube. Probably the last decent mod Smock ever made, in my humble opinion. And that's reading the resistance at 0.48. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe the coils are supposed to be 0.4 ohms as a pair, because it said 0.4 ohms on the label. And it was already proven to be messing up the resistance on the previous mod, so why trust that at all when that was reading close to 0.2? So I thought maybe 0.4, maybe the smock is reading it correctly for whatever reason, this ancient mod. And now you can see it's just 1.22, and not too long ago it just read it at 0 ohms. So that's two different devices. I know they're both kind of old devices, but I've got no reason to mistrust them. So I think I decided to strip it back down and just start again now. Yeah, reading 0.78. Yeah, it's just you got to, at that point, strip it down, then fully investigate it, start again to figure out what's going off there. So no, I didn't strip it down now yet. It's on another very old mod. This is where I realized I have no newer mods at home at all. Most of my newer devices are just in the shop. But I decided there's 3 devices which have not really done me wrong or give me any reason to doubt them other than how old they are. They're reading it funny, so let's just start again. So here we go. Was just making sure the 510 pin was tightened up. Took the coils out, gave the deck a good, just bear with me while I say this, gave the deck a quick blow and made sure there's no like tiny shards of metal or anything like that still left on the deck that might have been causing the resistance to jump around. Tighten the coils back into place as you saw and put it back on the smock, and we're reading 0.27. Which is still sort of not, it's not 0.2 or 0.4, is it? It's close to the middle of those. And I was thinking the coils are going to be either 0.2 or 0.4 as a pair, but they're coming out at 0.27 for now, at least anyway. I'm going to wick them up again. Tried to remember how much cotton it took last time to use the same amount. I'm shocked. So let me, while I redo that, I'll just talk through why I'm shocked. So I'm shocked that Bogan's gone ahead and associated the Bonza name with this atomizer. Nothing against the manufacturer. The atomizer has been built well. Couldn't find any faults with how it was built. Materials are just as standard for anything within the price point of this. There's nothing actually wrong with this atomizer other than the fact it's a Bonza. Because the Bonza was a very unique dripper. And what made it unique, what made the Bonza a Bonza, isn't present on this other than just the name on the side of the atomizer and maybe the dotted airflow. So we're still reading 0.27 ohms. I'm a little bit upset, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit upset that, not that I need to be upset, but not upset might be the wrong word. I'm a little bit shocked. I was expecting far more. It's an awkward one because it's just a dripper. It does the job it's supposed to, and it's good to see a new dripper on the market. You know, I don't really want to knock anybody trying to make new drippers and the rest of it. I'm just showing how close to the top of the dripper the coils were there. So I would probably recommend going for 6mm coil leg length or perhaps 5.5, but it's getting it done. Flavor's good, nothing outstanding. It's not muted, the flavor is good. It passes the standard of being decent for flavor. It's good for flavor, yeah. The build quality is fine, didn't notice anything off with it at all. No defects or any issues with that. Slight problem getting the coils into place and building it and the resistance and all of that jazz as you saw, but we got there in the end. That could have easily been my problem. Reduce our single coil dual coil reducers, good, that's nice. You're gonna improve flavor, improve vapor density perhaps, using the correct chamber for your build or your configuration. But it's just nothing fancy. I don't understand how it's a Bonza. The Bonza was fancy. The Bonza had a USP, that deck. That deck isn't here, so it's not a Bonza. So maybe it's annoying me more than it should. Maybe I shouldn't be this bothered, but I am, unfortunately. I'm not saying don't get one. If you want to get into drippers, this is a brilliant one to start with, but it's nothing stand out. Peace.